Okay, number six. Number six is you've got this polynomial and it tells us to plug in x as an imaginary number, so we just slide that in for the x values. We have to square first because order of operations says do this squaring, then we'll distribute and combine. But how do we square this? You can either write it twice and FOIL it or use the squaring pattern. I'm going to demonstrate it with the FOIL method. First, outer, outer, inner, inner, and last, last. When you do so, the middle term's always double when you square a binomial, so you've got negative 36i in the middle. Oh, I have an I squared there. The last has an I squared, making that change signs to a negative 81 plus 4, which makes, what is that, negative 77. Negative 77 minus 36i. That's this stuff. Okay, then proceeding, we'll distribute our negative 8. Right, so I got all that worked out by the FOIL method. Distribute your negative 8 plus 3. Combine your like terms. I really don't need parentheses around this now that it didn't have anything to distribute, so I can just let those parentheses go, I guess. So I've got negative 77, 16, and 3. I'll punch that in my calculator, but I'll try to just do that real quick for you. So I'll get a negative 58 when I combine my numbers, and then your imaginary parts, combining those is negative 108 imaginary. All right, does that work out? Yep. All right, so that's answer C. Okay, number 7, using the quadratic formula. All right, we should be quadratic formula experts, right, at this point. But again, that would be a formula you might want to write on your card if you're not positive or you just still have a space on your card to fill. The quadratic formula, definitely need to know that. So remember to put it in standard form first. So get it in descending order, the x squared, the x, the constant equals 0, and then your a is the first term, b is the sixth, the middle term, and c is the constant. Plug that in your quadratic formula. Looks like negative 6 plus minus. B squared makes that 36 minus 4 times A times C, all over 2 times A. Simplify your radical. 36, that would be 36 minus 12, actually. 36 minus 12 is 24 over 6. One of the most common mistakes here is students want to cancel out the 6's because there's like 6's, but you cannot cancel because that is attached to this plus minus, so it's part of a set. So you can't just cancel just that part. You have to reduce the radical, and then if all three parts have a common factor, then you can reduce. So 24, we could break that down with a factor tree. We did that earlier in the semester and find if it has any matches in it, any pairs. It does have a pair of 2's, so you can bring a 2 out of that radical, and then there'll be 3 times 2 left in, a 6 left in. So this radical reduces to 2 square root of 6 over 6. Then reduce if there's a common factor in these three parts. Don't include the radical, but the coefficient, the constant, and the divisor. If there's a common factor, which there is 2, all of those divide by 2, then that is your final answer. All right, so questions on that? Except don't bother your radical.
So you just leave the 3 alone that's in the tree?
Yeah, whatever is left in the tree, you multiply it together. That went under the radical. Any stray factors that didn't have a matching set. See, if you have a set, you bring one of those out, but anything left in, you multiply. Yeah. Okay, number 8. Solve this cubic equation. To find all the factors, to find all the solutions, there should be 3. If it's third degree, you're looking for 3 answers. The quadratic, you were looking for 2 answers, linear 1, and so on. So the degree tells you how many solutions to look for. Unless they're repeated solutions, there should be 3 individual solutions. So to find them, you have to factor this, first of all, down to as far as you know how to factor it. And we do have a cube pattern. So that's another thing you might want on your card if you struggle with a cube pattern, have an example of that. You find the perfect cube root. So both of these have a cube root that you can find, x and 4. If it's plus, you start with a plus here as well. Then you square the first cube root. You multiply these together with the opposite sign, and you square the last cube root. So square times together, square, with a different sign in the middle. You always alternate the signs here.